So UFC 306 at the Sphere in Las Vegas with a title fight between Sugar Sean O'Malley and Merab the Machine Dvalishvili is gonna be probably a once in a lifetime event for us MMA fans, which is why I'm so excited to break this fight down. So first and foremost, when we're looking at the champion Sugar Sean O'Malley, one of the most exciting fighters to watch with his striking, his diverse skill set, his just fun, fan-friendly fighting style. It is just fantastic to watch. So with Sugar Sean O'Malley, outside of his persona, his bold, brash personality, outside of the octagon, he is there's no doubt about it, he's one of the best strikers in the UFC right now. And if you refuse to believe that or you disagree with that, whatever, I'm sure there's a bunch of you out there. You just got to look at his performances against Petr Yan, his performances against Chito Vera. Like, we have seen a crazy improvement in his striking game, which I didn't even know was possible because he's so high level already. So with Sean O'Malley, the cool thing about him as well is that he has no martial arts background. He just got started into martial arts. Usually, high-level strikers of his caliber were brought up in boxing, were brought up in like Taekwondo. And Taekwondo is a big one. Like, look at MVP. He grew up in Taekwondo. Or Stephen Wonderboy Stephen Wonderboy Coxon. He should switch his name right now. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, being raised in karate. I believe it was karate slash kickboxing. But my point is, the fact that Sean O'Malley doesn't have any of those and he just took up martial arts and he's just this crazy striker just proves how much of an athlete he is and how capable he is of just beating any human being weighing 135 pounds for 5 minutes on the scale in the UFC on the planet. All right, so let's get into it. So with his striking game, he has endless weapons. So we all know that with his style, he has almost like a Taekwondo kind of base style where he switches stances frequently. He can mess you up with any limb. Any limb. You probably just don't see a lot of elbows with Sean O'Malley because the reason with that, he just doesn't get in close. But his bread and butter, obviously his hands, his boxing, his distance management are just crisp, beautiful. Like, it is impossible to touch him. It is impossible unless you're unless you're one of the girls on his one-night stands when he's partying. So that's a different story. But his boxing's crisp. His kicks are so sick to watch. His striking is just so sick to watch. If you're ever tired on the cardio, if you're ever tired doing cardio on the treadmill, like fasted cardio, whatever, throw in a Sugar Sean O'Malley highlight reel. That's going to get you sprinting just because it's so sick. It does for me, at least. That's what helps me. But with his kicking game, you can throw it all. He throws spinning he throws front kicks. He is great at using the teep to keep his opponent at a distance, so he's able to pick them apart from a distance. He's an incredible striker. And then also he's got disgusting knees. That knee that he landed on Chito Vera actually was one of the very rare strikes that I've seen in a mixed martial arts fight that actually disturbed me. That I was like, I don't even know if I want to see that replay because Chito Vera's face must have just exploded. Like, just listen to it. It was horrible. It was horrible to see it. Like, it was just what a piece up that was. And speaking of that fight, we can also talk about the fact that he's gone 5 rounds with a high pace, high volume. So he's capable of having. He's proved that he's had that cardio gas tank, and he's proved with that Chito Vera fight that he is durable enough to go 5 rounds. Like, before he even was a ranked fighter, I was like, I don't know if this guy's just durable to become a UFC champion because every fight he was breaking both his hands. But you know what? He switched up that vegan diet and he's just bulked up. He's gone a lot stronger. He's obviously matured a lot. I think he's around like 29 years old right now. He's not even in his prime, which is scary. And he's the champion. And obviously with that championship, it's often said that your confidence grows like 20%, 30%. And that obviously is true. Like, Sean O'Malley, him and Tim Welsh said countless times that the scariest matchup for them is Aljamain Sterling. They went into that fight injured, and he knocked out Aljamain Sterling in the second round. And I don't even think Sugar Sean O'Malley got taken down against Aljo. So that's impressive in itself. And then another thing with his striking that I love so much, that is a big reason why he's so good at landing on his opponent, which is also why he set up that knee perfectly, is just through his constant fades, his constant feints. So like you just know, you guys have watched Sugar Sean O'Malley fight. He's constantly faking, switching stances, faking. His opponent has no idea what's going to come. Is it going to be a knee? It's going to be a spinning wheel kick? Is it going to be a happy dad thrown at your temple? It's going to be, who knows? Who knows what it's going to be, man? I just love Sugar Sean O'Malley. And then with that, he has amazing footwork. And with that footwork, he is great at circling off against the cage. So against a wrestler like Merab, against a wrestler that has unlimited cardio, that in my opinion is really the scariest matchup at 135 pounds for Sugar Sean O'Malley, that footwork is going to be what is going to determine how successful he is in this fight. Because he has great footwork. According to him, he's the healthiest he's been. He's the strongest he's been. He's in the best shape. He's the most confident. So as long as his footwork is on point and he's able to stuff those takedowns, then or even just get away from those takedowns, then I think he's going to have a lot of success in this fight. And I think the last thing I'll touch on before we switch over to Merab Dvalishvili is the fact that he's very unpredictable with his striking too as well. Like, again, I mentioned his highlight reel. Like, in his earlier days in the UFC, he'll throw a spinning back fist to a high kick. What? I've never seen that before. That is just, it's so creative. And then he's doing just crazy shit. He's dribbling a basketball. He's playing basketball as he's bouncing his fists on your face. And then he's doing that fake where he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's so sick. I love it. You just don't see that anywhere. And he's just cool. Now on to who I think is really the nightmare of the bantamweight division. If Sugar Sean O'Malley can't beat Merab Dvalishvili, I think we might see a long reign from Merab, because he is just a nightmare matchup for any human being. And yes, that is including that Russian Nurmagomedov as well. All right, I'm even wearing my Dagestan shirt. So, but I'm still saying that matchup Merab against Umar would be wild. But I'm rooting for Sugar Sean O'Malley in this fight. I got to be honest. Anyways, Merab Dvalishvili, the machine. Let's just start off with the obvious. This guy is really a machine. That's a perfect nickname for him. He's right up there for having probably the best cardio gas tank in the UFC. I know we talk about Max Holloway. I know we talk about, maybe Colby Covington, but like I don't want to mention Colby Covington right now. So basically, just like let's use Max Holloway for example. He's often regarded as having crazy high cardio, and he absolutely does. But he is a volume striker, and in my opinion, I think grappling requires a lot. It does. Grappling requires a lot more energy than strikes. So in my opinion, I think Merab has the cardio advantage when you're comparing him to Max Holloway. But with that, this guy is he's just annoying to fight. He's a nightmare matchup for anyone. It doesn't matter how good your skill set is. He's just always going to constantly shoot on you 1,000 times until he takes you down. Even if he doesn't take you down the entire fight, like the Jose Aldo fight. How annoying was that fight? That fight made Jose Aldo retire for a few years just because Merab just constantly was shooting for a takedown, pressing him against the cage, racking up that control time, just giving his opponent no room to breathe, and then he eventually got decision. A very boring decision. He doesn't have a very fan-friendly fighting style unless you're looking at the who's that Brazilian, the bald Brazilian guy? Marlon Moraes, unless it's like a fight where Merab gets wobbled and then he has to fight for his life to come back, then it's a fan-friendly fight. But if Merab's getting the advantage, it's going to be a boring fight and people are going to pluck their eyebrows out just watching it because it's going to be so boring. And then something I will say, apart from his cardio and his relentless takedown ability, is the fact that one of the best assets you can have in a mixed martial arts fight is just being tough. This guy is so incredibly tough. So when he was like coming up, he was working construction full time. I know a lot of fighters have done this before, like DJs used to do this, but to do that, to work construction, lay bricks and all that kind of stuff that comes with a construction job, and then go from that to train mixed martial arts and fight professionally that's insane. That is a different level of mindset. Like, I worked construction for 6 months and I could barely edit a video. I didn't train jiu-jitsu at all. There's a period in my life where for 6 months I didn't train because I had to work construction to support myself. And I had to give up jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai for a bit because I couldn't even think of training after a hot, long day, laying out cement, carrying wheelbarrows. But this guy was training. He was fighting. He's a beast. That just proves I'm a obviously. And then on top of that, he's just extremely hard to finish. Like, again, I mentioned that Marlon Moraes fight. He got dropped and wobbled like 3 times badly in that first round. Could have easily been stopped, but then he eventually fought back, has that crazy cardio, put the pace on Marlon Moraes, and then almost finished him in the first round. And then I believe he finished him in the second round pretty early. And then also there's that clip of him just jumping into a lake when it was frozen and he thought he could just go through the ice. He literally cracked his head open doing that. And he's laughing about it, making a video. He had to get stitches. He's just a wild man, and he's just a nightmare. These foreign guys are nuts, man. They're just nightmares to deal with. If I'm going to create a nightmare fighter, the 3 things I'm going to do are he's a wrestler, he has relentless takedowns, and he's extremely tough. Those 3 things, I don't care if you have 0 striking, that's a nightmare. That's a championship fighter in any division. As long as he's given the opportunity to fight the champion. And Merab, very well deserved, has earned his shot against Sugar Sean O'Malley. Okay, now onto my favorite part of this video is the actual prediction. So with this fight, when we're looking at the strengths and the weaknesses, so Sugar Sean O'Malley's strengths are his striking and his footwork and everything that comes with it. His weaknesses, however, are his durability. He has broken his foot in the fight. He has had that, that it was like a knee injury, that nerve against Chito Vera. And also, how is his wrestling going to handle? How is his cardio going to handle? We know he has cardio for 5 rounds when it's a striking fight. But when I was watching that Piotr Jan fight, he was exhausted. He could barely do that post-fight interview with Daniel Cormier or whoever it was after that Piotr Jan fight because there was a lot of grappling involved as well as the striking. So this fight is going to be, and that was a 3-round fight. This one's a 5-round fight. This is a scary, scary fight for Sugar Sean O'Malley. And they're oddly pretty chill about it. Like, they're not saying it's a scary matchup. It's a tough matchup for sure, but they think they can handle it. And I know they can handle it with my prediction. But before I get into that, with Merab Dvalishvili, his weakness is that he gets wobbled a lot. Not a lot, but he gets wobbled against guys he probably shouldn't get wobbled against. Apart from Marlon Moraes, his last fight against Henry Cejudo, he got wobbled against Henry Cejudo. What do you think Sugar Sean O'Malley can do to this guy? So, but if he's able to survive that and come back and put the pace on Sugar Sean O'Malley, that opens a whole another door of hell for Sugar Sean. And then also with Merab, even if he's able to take you down or get you clinched up against the fence, he doesn't really finish you. This comes from me saying he doesn't have a fan-friendly fighting style because even if he takes you down and you're exhausted, he'll just pepper you with shots or pressed up against the cage. He'll pepper you with his shots just enough so he doesn't get separated and do that for 5 rounds to just get the judge's decision. But the way I see this fight going, I just feel like Sugar Sean O'Malley is on another level right now. And I feel like his striking is obviously going to be even better than his Chito Vera fight. And the fact that Merab Dvalishvili does tend to get wobbled, he's a lot shorter. His Sugar Sean O'Malley definitely has a huge reach advantage over Merab too as well. So Merab's going to have to kind of force and rush in like Aljo did, which got him slept in the second round to lose his belt to O'Malley. I think it's going to be the same thing. I think Merab Dvalishvili is going to be really excited. It's a huge opportunity. He's been waiting for this moment for years because his boy has been champion in the division. It's in the Sphere, so there's probably going to be some freaking DMT elves flying in outer space as he's like, whoa, as he's fighting Sugar Sean O'Malley, and Sugar's probably going to be on DMT as he's fighting. And I think with that, Merab's probably going to force something early, and Sugar's going to clip him. I think he's going to put his lights out, and I think it's probably going to be an early stoppage because it's going to be such a precise shot that it's going to shut Merab's lights out for a second. He's going to go probably face first on the mat, which gives the ref a clear sign to stop the fight. And then once the ref makes contact with Merab Dvalishvili, he's going to wake up and be like, no, I'm good. And it's going to be a questionable stoppage, but a good stoppage. That's me seeing the future because I'm on DMT right now, all right? That's my prediction. Sugar Sean O'Malley KO first round. If not, Merab Dvalishvili round 5 decision. Place your bets wherever you want. I don't care. I got to go to jiu-jitsu now. Peace, guys. Hope you're enjoying life.